Good morning and welcome back. You join me today at the RH Fisheries complex in Shropshire. I'm on Monument 1 and I'm on peg 8. I arrived nice and early this morning with the hope of getting 2 rods out nice and fast to try and capitalise on the morning bite times. But the weather this morning, the heavens opened and the rain was coming down, so it kind of ruined the plans. So basically I had to come round and get the bivvy up first, then barrow the stuff round just to try and keep it all dry. But nevertheless, the rods are out now, a bit later than hoped, but they're out and we're fishing. Spoke to the gentleman in the shop and asked for his advice, and he recommended that I put one down the left, about a couple of rod lengths off the tree that's sticking out of the peg, which makes sense, looks carpy down there, and one about 8-9 wraps straight ahead. So I've gone with those tactics for now. So hopefully I can get amongst some of the units that reside in this lake. At the moment we've got 10 degrees. We've got about 6-7 degrees tonight. So you know, still good temperatures. I definitely think there's a chance of a bite. I only need one fish from this lake and my session will be complete. Anything more than that's a bonus. So rig wise, the approach I've gone for is just a simple D rig. I think it's a killer wafter rig and I think it nails the fish every time. You know, you can always test it. When you pull it back, it's always turning. It's always going to get that bottom lip. And with the bottom being quite clear here, I think there's no problems with using it as a bottom bait rig or a wafter rig. Magic Bean Parker Baits wafter on this one, yellow. And on the other rig, I've gone with the RH Fisheries Simply Red Match the Hatch. And I've threw a few handfuls of Simply Red Boilie over the top. So hopefully the D rig can bring the fish on the bank for me. But if I don't see any kind of action through until tomorrow, I might change it up and put a solid bag on. So the rods have been in there now about 6-7 hours, not a bite yet, but now the heavens have opened well and truly. If I'm going to get one, it's going to be now, because that's just my luck. But you know what, I would take it. So I'm just going to slip into some waterproofs, just in case. I've seen a few fish show this side of the lake and in towards this corner, so it's looking very positive. Hopefully we get one. It's absolutely hammering it down out there, and don't get me wrong, I put a waterproof on obviously because I want to stay dry, but I would get absolutely soaked now for the sake of a fish, just to get one on the bank. It's actually quite peaceful, as you know, as all carp anglers know. It's definitely very peaceful, and once you're in your bivvy, although it is starting to come in a little bit, so I might have to shut the door, letterbox it up. So, just making the change from a D rig to a Gemini solid bag to see if this can bring me some luck. So we're heading into the evening now. Due to it being autumn time, we're losing light rapidly. But as you've seen just, I've got the right hand rod out on a solid bag now, and I've got the left hand rod on a D-rig wafter with a bit of bait over the top. So I've covered a couple of bases. See if the solid bag can change things, but you know, 2 bases covered, I feel a bit more confident now. So I thought I'd just take this chance just to give you some information about Monument 1 if you haven't fished it before. First one, which is a good one, is you don't have to bring your nets, slings or cradles. They're provided on every peg, which, you know, it's always a bonus, saves space in the vehicles on the way. The lake itself is very uniform, flat, clear, no weed, so wherever your rig is, it's always going to be fishing. And the most important thing is some of the residents in this lake are absolute units. I think off the top of my head there's like 300 plus fish in here, over 85 different 30s, I think it was 14 different 40s, and obviously the 53 to go at. I think there might be a few, or maybe 2 or 3 that are near the 50 pound mark. So yeah, it's always good to get on these kind of lakes because you never know what's going to happen. But yeah, hard fishing, you know, as simple as the lake may seem, the fishing is quite difficult. You know, it's not a runs water, but you know, when you do catch one from here, it's definitely going to be a special one. But yeah, as I said, the light's going, so I'm just going to sort through my bivvy, get my head torch ready, get my night shoes ready just in case I am lucky enough to get a run. But if I don't catch anything and I don't have any action through the night, I'll see you in the morning. So it was a quiet night last night. There's a quiet lake all over, apart from about 10 PM last night. I think peg 5 had a 1 toner. Just spoke to the guy next door and he told me it was like a 20 pound ling. So, you know, I'll definitely take that right now just to try and save this blank. But this is one of the cons to big fish fishing. You know, it's never always going to be run after run. You are basically waiting for that one special fish. So, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Apparently the lake's been fishing quite hard recently. I don't know if it's the change in temperature or as of next week the maggot rule kicks in, so you can use maggots here at RH Fisheries, which I think is really going to spur them on and give people a better edge. We've actually got a session booked in next month on Monument 2. We're on pegs 12 and 13, so if you know Monument 2 very well and you have any kind of hints or tips for us, drop them in the comments below, we'd much appreciate it. But yeah, we'll be back next month and we'll be able to use the maggots, so we're definitely be using those maggot rigs. Session ends at dusk before it gets dark, so it gets dark about 5 o'clock, half 5 today. So I'll be off about 4, half 4. But I'm going to sit now and watch the water, well the water I've got, and see if I can see any signs of fish. But other than that, the rod's going to stay put until about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, where I'm just going to refresh them and probably find a different spot, and hopefully the change can make something happen. So here's a quick look at the rig I was using yesterday, which is very similar to the one on my left rod at the moment. It's just simple. It's got a yellow wafter, Magic Bean Parker baits on the end. It goes to a D rig, to a size 5 microbarbed and about 6 or 7 inch of hook link fluoro. 3 ounce lead and a rig tube system. Like I said, nice and simple. Just going to refresh this one though, put a new hook link on, a new fresh bait, and in about an hour or two when I feel like the bite time's gone, I'm going to refresh the rods, and the last few hours hopefully I can nab a fish. But yeah, apparently here at Monument there's a little tale where if people don't catch in the mornings, they like to pack up early afternoon and get off. But on the end of the 36-hour session here, they all apparently start to switch on. So I'm going to stay here till just before dark, see if I can land one of these Monument 1 fish. So I've just been sitting watching the water, finally seen my first fish this morning, which has just filled me up with a bit more confidence, and I'm going to leave them in a little bit longer before I change them and refresh them. But at the moment it's probably just a little bit further out than my boundary, because at Monument 1 if you're on 8, 9 or 10, you've got pegs 7 and 11 on these sides that demand more water, so they get to go to the middle. So you're cut off just a little bit, so you're only having a little bit of water, but it's all you need in these pegs. People do catch fish. And yeah, so hopefully that fish moves in a little bit closer, because I've got a solid bag that isn't a million miles away. So it's 12:30. on the second day, so there's about 3 or 4 hours left of light. So hopefully in these next few hours something can change. I held off changing any rigs or rods. You know, I was just fighting my mind on whether it was the rig or the location, but you know, I've seen a couple of fish over here this morning, so they're definitely over here. So I'm sticking with the stealth approach, super slack. I don't really want any disturbance in the water, and hopefully that results in a fish. But yeah, it's not fishing amazing, but you can switch on at any time, and I want to be there ready, stealthy, let them move in kind of thing. Just gonna start cleaning up the bivvy, sorting out the bags and having a slow pack down. So everything's packed down now, all my stuff's on the barrow ready to go, it's just my rods. I've seen a lot of bivvies come down early, a couple of lads have gone, the guy next door's gone. It's about 2:30. There's still a couple of hours left of the light, and you know the old monument tail is stay till the end as they switch on, but you know it hasn't fished very well at the minute, but you know got to stay hopeful. Only takes 1 minute to change that, and the fishing here are definitely worth waiting for. You know, you could have a unit in your hands at 4 o'clock and you know it's all worth it. So yeah, I'm going to stay till the end and then just hope effort equals reward. So coming to the end of the session now, there's only about half an hour, 40 minutes left of light. So I'm going to start packing the cameras away, getting back on the barra, and leave the rods in for the remaining time. But if something does happen, I'll get the cameras back out. But yeah, it's been a good session. Shame there's no fish. I still enjoy getting out, as you know, as all carp anglers do. It's not always about the fish, but it would be nice to have one. But yeah, I'll give him 20-25 minutes and then I'll be off, but the cameras are going away. So if you are liking the videos, guys, make sure you're liking and subscribing. Comment below, it's much appreciated, and we'll see you at the next session at Monument 2.